Have you ever felt like you were just a little different from everyone else? Maybe you thought you were weird but weren't sure if that's a good or bad thing. If that sounds like you might be a Sigma male. Sigma males are often misunderstood because society is structured in a way that doesn't work in their favor. They're not the typical alpha male, but they're also not the typical introvert. They fall somewhere in between and face unique challenges that often go unnoticed. But that doesn't make them any less valuable or successful. They just face different challenges than others. Let's take a closer look at 6 of those struggles Sigma males face every day. Number 1. Constant pressure to maintain independence. Independence is really important to these individuals. They've always valued doing things on their own without relying on others. This makes them feel strong and in control of their lives. However, this independence can sometimes become a burden. Even from a young age, Sigma males felt proud of being able to solve problems without asking for help. They would rather figure something out on their own than depend on someone else. But as they grow older, the world becomes more complicated, and it can be tough to keep handling everything alone. This pressure to always be independent means they rarely ask for help, even when they really need it. They fear that seeking assistance might make them look incapable, which is not true, but it's how they often feel. It's not that they think others are incompetent, but they have built a habit of doing things their way. This can lead to them feeling overwhelmed and stressed. Being independent can be a double-edged sword for Sigma males. They often keep their struggles to themselves, not wanting to bother anyone or seem needy. This self-reliance makes them strong and capable, but it can also be isolating and exhausting. However, it is this very trait that makes them resilient and successful. They become leaders in their own right, not because they were given special treatment, but because they worked hard and earned it on their own terms. Number 2. Their high standards lead to perfectionism and inaction. Having high standards can be a good thing. It means you want the best and won't settle for anything less. But for Sigma males, these high standards can sometimes make life harder. When you want everything to be perfect, you may find yourself stuck and unable to move forward. This is called perfectionism. Imagine you have a business idea. You want it to be the best, so you spend a lot of time planning and thinking about it. But because you want it to be just right, you never actually start working on it. The fear of not meeting your own high expectations can paralyze you. This can lead to inaction and getting stuck in a cycle of overthinking and planning without ever taking action. Sigma males are especially prone to this because they are always looking for the best way to do things. They don't want to just settle for average, so they can get caught up in trying to create the perfect plan instead of actually executing it. It's a constant battle because they want to be successful, but they also don't want to make mistakes. This happens to them a lot, not just in school, but in their careers, relationships, and even personal projects. Perfectionism is like a trap. It makes you think that if everything isn't perfect, it's not worth doing. But the truth is, nothing is ever perfect. You have to start somewhere and improve along the way. Taking action and learning from those mistakes is what really matters. Having high standards can help you achieve great things, but only if you don't let perfectionism hold you back. You need to focus on taking action, even if things aren't perfect. This will help you move forward, even if it's not in the exact way you initially envisioned. Number 3. They're the rarest and most misunderstood personality type. Being a Sigma male can feel like living in a world where few people understand you. Because their personality is so rare, others often don't know how to act around them. This uncertainty can create awkward situations. People might feel uncomfortable or nervous and might not know what to say. Sometimes this lack of understanding can make others feel intimidated. They might see the Sigma's quiet confidence and independence as aloofness or arrogance. Instead of trying to get to know them better, people may start to judge. Because Sigma males don't fit into typical social molds, others might label them as strange or antisocial. These judgments stem from a lack of understanding. People often feel threatened when they encounter something or someone they don't understand. This fear of the unknown leads to assumptions and gossip. The Sigma might be called a loner or a rebel, even though these labels don't capture who they truly are. That's a hidden struggle all Sigma men face. They're often misunderstood and judged based on people's preconceived notions about them. But being misunderstood also has its perks. People tend not to bother them as much since no one really knows what makes a Sigma tick. They have a bit of mystery surrounding them, making them an enigma in social situations. Plus, with fewer close friends or acquaintances, there's less drama or conflict for them to deal with. Number 4, they have a hard time trusting others. Trust is something Sigma males find very, very hard to give. It's not that they don't want to trust others. They really do, but they see a lot more than most people. They notice little things and pick up on details that others might miss. This ability to read people so well makes them skeptical. They gather so much information about others that many things don't add up, which makes it difficult for them to trust completely. If someone says one thing but does another, Sigma males will notice immediately. They'll see the mismatch and wonder what else might not be true. They often find inconsistencies in people's actions and words. Because of this, they have a hard time believing what people say at face value. They question motives and wonder if someone is being genuine or if there's a hidden agenda. This can make relationships a bit challenging for them. While they want to connect with others, their distrust can keep them at a distance. They might have a few close friends but hesitate to let new people in. They fear getting hurt or betrayed, so they protect themselves by being cautious. This hesitation to trust isn't about being negative or paranoid. It's just a way to protect their feelings. Skepticism can also make it hard for them to take compliments or praise. They might wonder if the person praising them is genuine or has an ulterior motive. This doesn't mean they don't appreciate the recognition, but it can make it hard to fully accept it. They see so many people putting on a facade or trying to manipulate others that they have a hard time believing someone's intentions are pure. They might even find it challenging to rely on colleagues because they question whether others will follow through. This can lead to them taking on too much work themselves to avoid disappointment. While this means they get things done, it can also be exhausting. On the bright side, being cautious about trust has its benefits. Sigma males are less likely to be taken advantage of or manipulated. They can also see through people's intentions and protect themselves from potential harm. While it may make relationships harder, it also means the ones they do have are genuine and built on trust. This makes them excellent judges of character, but it also sometimes overwhelms them. Number 5, limited support system. Sigma males often feel like they have to do everything on their own, so they have been forced to learn how to be independent and self-sufficient from a young age. While this can lead to personal growth and success, it can also be overwhelming at times. Imagine getting the look you get when you voice an unpopular opinion all the time. It can be frustrating knowing that you don't have many people who truly understand and support your way of thinking. This can make you feel like an outsider, even among friends and family. Sigma males often find themselves at odds with society because they don't conform without asking questions. They aren't the type to just accept things because someone with authority told them to. They want to understand the why behind everything before they follow along. This questioning attitude can make them seem difficult or rebellious, but in reality, they just want to make informed decisions. Finding others who share this mindset can be challenging, which is why Sigma males often don't have many friends. They struggle to connect with people who accept things blindly because they find such interactions boring and unfulfilling. This can leave them feeling alone or misunderstood, especially when they're younger and figuring out their place in the world. It can be a lonely road, but they wouldn't have it any other way. People may find them challenging or hard to deal with because they don't just go with the flow. Their superiors may even see them as a threat simply because they're not easily controlled, so they may not receive the same support or opportunities as others who conform and follow orders without questioning them. This can be frustrating for Sigma males, but it also pushes them to work harder to prove themselves without relying on anyone else's help. This lack of support is actually what makes them so resilient. They are used to fighting their own battles and finding their own paths, which only makes them stronger in the end. They become leaders in their own right, not because they were given special treatment, but because they worked hard and earned it on their own terms. Number 1, they always knew they were different. From a young age, Sigma males felt something was different about them. They would look around at their classmates, watching them and trying to understand them, but they just couldn't relate. The teacher would be explaining something, and they'd already know the answer. Everyone else seemed to be scrambling to keep up, but the Sigma just couldn't understand why. They thought there must be something wrong with them. They tried to fit in, but it just never felt right. They could make friends, sure, but they always felt like an outsider. like they were just pretending to fit in with everyone else. This feeling of being different often made them feel weird. They didn't know if it was the right or wrong way to feel, just that it was different from everyone around them. As kids, this sense of being different followed them everywhere, whether at school or at home. They noticed they didn't always think or act like other kids. Even as they grew up, these feelings didn't go away. In fact, they sometimes grew stronger. They noticed they still thought and acted differently than their peers, even in college or the workplace. They might have found it hard to relate to the typical social norms and expectations of those around them. But with more knowledge and experience, they've come to understand these feelings better. They've learned that being different is not something to be ashamed of, but rather a valuable trait. It's what sets them apart and makes them stand out in a world full of conformity. While they still sometimes struggle with feeling different, it's not something they want to change. Do you agree with the points I made in this video? Let me know in the comments. For more videos on Sigma males, check out some other videos on this channel. Thank you for watching. Like the video and subscribe for more.